Welcome to the Art of Dress. Today I'm very happy to share with you the use of space for ornament styles. And that's our third look at use of space. So thank you for coming and thank you for subscribing. And we'll be right back. In order to explain to you what's happening with the ornament group and the use of space, I just want to take a brief moment and review use of space generally. So we start by looking at our wheel that shows all of the styles in order of fabric weight, scale, and also simplicity. And as you remember, we started number one, the smallest weight fabric, the lightest. The smallest scale was the elaborate romantic down on the left, number one, and going counterclockwise around the wheel. So we have 4 styles in the ornament group, 4 in line, and 5 styles in fabric because it includes the one in the middle, which is true classic. Now, all of these styles have, when you're in a group, you do some things the same. So the fabric styles, as you remember, could vary their garments front to back. And they also, something I didn't spend a lot of time on at the time, but they also can do something else. And this is called rhythm of accessory. So there are 3 principles of style. There is the fabric harmony, and that's the most important thing for fabric styles, to be in fabric harmony. And the second principle of style is conforming to silhouette. And all fabric styles do this as well. If it's an alpha style, there's only 2, which is elaborate classic and true classic alpha. They are always alpha. They might have some small element that's omega, but the overall silhouette needs to be alpha. And then they also have the same with omega styles, conforming to silhouette. And the third principle of style is rhythm of accessory, and that's where you can wear a white outfit and a black shoe. Your accessory, your shoe, has nothing to do with the white. The black of your shoe has nothing to do with the white of your outfit. So that shows you they don't need rhythm of accessory. So that's true for all fabric styles. And similarly in line styles, we saw that use of space for the 4 line styles was that they all had side-to-side differentiation, whether it was above the waist or below the waist, side-to-side differentiation. And the other thing that line styles can do is avoiding or not having to worry about fabric harmony. So they do not use fabric harmony. What they do have is they conform to silhouette, and in fact they're all alpha. So they pretty much look the best if they can stay in their alpha nature. And the third one is rhythm of accessory, and they do use rhythm of accessory. So now we come to our last group, ornament. So the ornament styles, their aspect of space for ornament styles is above and below. Above the waist and below the waist. As far as the principles of style, they have to have rhythm of accessory because that's the most important for ornament styles. And fabric harmony is also very important. But the third one for them, which is conforming to silhouette, is something that they have great flexibility and can do all kinds of things. So that is going to be connected to their use of space. And that's what I'm going to show you today, how ornament styles use space above and below, and also the enormous flexibility that all ornament styles have with regard to silhouette. So now let me explain, just go back and show you a sort of a summary of silhouette. So with silhouette, what we're talking about, I'm calling it alpha and omega. So on the right hand side of Gigi Hadid's outfit here, you see a very typical alpha neckline, which is a halter. Only alpha styles wear a halter, and not every alpha style, just the fire styles. So that's elaborate classic, refined gammon, and elaborate romantic. Those are the halter styles. And you also see, so alpha above the waist, and you also see a fitted or alpha line to her pant, the right-hand side of the picture. And on the left-hand side, you see an example of an omega line. Omega on the top with that kind of, it's a sort of an opened out V going up and showing the energy moving out away from her body, not conforming to her body. And at the bottom, the same kind of thing. The skirt is going out away from her body, not conforming. Those are omega lines. So you have an omega silhouette on the left. So what Ornament Styles can do is split the silhouette. So that would mean that they can use an alpha line on the top, like the right hand alpha top, and omega on the bottom, or vice versa, omega on top and alpha on the bottom. So let me show you a little bit more about how this happens. And now we have to go back to Artistry. When we looked at Artistry, for the fabric styles, we were working with the 2D, 3D dimension. And when we looked at least for use of space, and when we looked at use of space for line styles, we were working with filled in and empty. And so you won't be surprised that for the ornament styles, now firm and soft are what matters. So on the left, the firm, we have the first, you see the little symbol there for sculptural, kind of like a heart, and the little symbol for architectural, like a spade. So for those two kinds of artistries who are ornament styles, they do the same kind of thing with their silhouettes, regardless of whether they are alpha or omega. So here is our first example, Frida Gustafsson wearing an alpha top fitted and an omega pant not fitted to her leg, even though she is an omega style. So there are only 4 styles in this group, just that's pretty normal. And 3 of them are omega styles and 1 is alpha. So in order to show you the differences, I have an alpha style in both categories, and the other ones I'm showing you the different omega styles. Refined Classic, which is Frida, is not very omega. It's one of the least of the omega styles. So not very open, but you're going to see it doesn't matter that much in terms of her silhouette. And Joan Smalls, one of the most omega styles. And so she is true gammon. And her pant is a little bit more full than Frida's, but not a lot. The fabrics, you notice, this is a firm fabric, Frida's with a soft fabric, but the same kind of alpha top and still an omega bottom. Same thing is happening. And then you come to the alpha style of the group. Same thing, alpha on top, omega on the bottom. This is Jordan Dunn, Elaborate Romantic. Not very, it is quite an alpha style in the, I think it's number 3, but so more than half above. So one of the more alpha styles. So this is a good opportunity to point out, look at the line of her pant, okay? Especially you can see it on the right-hand side. It's a tapered, a curved taper. That is her line. When ornament styles do this kind of thing where they almost like rebut their silhouettes or what you would expect to be the silhouette, they stay in their line. Whether it's omega or alpha, the line is the same. And this is, as you remember, perhaps this is Jordan Dunn's line. Now, I call this splitting the silhouette. They're using alpha on top, omega on the bottom. So that's splitting, not alpha, alpha, not omega, omega, alpha on top, omega on the bottom. There are other things that ornament styles can do. So here's a first example. They can invert their natural silhouette. So we already saw Frida wearing an alpha top and omega bottom, and now she has inverted, and she has omega on top and alpha on the bottom. Even though there's that sash on the left-hand side of the picture, the skirt stays within her line. It's her natural line, but it stays slim all the way down. So invert the silhouette as well. And another thing that they can all do, and that is what Joan is doing here, contradict her silhouette. She is naturally an omega style. She can wear alpha, alpha. Now, the more she is in her style, the more flexibility she has to do these things. Fabric weight, fabric weave, if it's firm, if it's soft. Weave meaning, is it what do you call it? A weave that holds its shape, or is it one that is completely fluid? And then she's also in her style very strongly here, because you see the difference of her sleeve compared to her top. So it's amazing, but it's a complete contradiction of her natural silhouette. And that is because she is an ornament style. And then finally, another example of this with Jordan, who is an alpha style, wearing omega on top and omega on the bottom. So contradict the silhouette. And then I just want to show you one more thing, and this holds true in every case. There's a lot of flexibility for ornament styles around the degree of alpha or the degree of omega, especially omega, because there's more to work with there. And so here you see Frida Gustafsson. This one is pretty natural for her. It's omega, but it's not extremely, and that's her normal experience. Although, as you know, she is alpha on top here and not omega on the bottom. And by the way, you might notice that so far I haven't said that she can conform to omega, and that's true. She does not. Even though she is an omega style, she does not wear omega on top and omega on the bottom. She wears alpha omega. We already saw she can invert that. And she has a lot of flexibility. Here you see Joan Smalls, and she is a more omega style than Frida, and yet her skirt is less omega. But that's because of the range that all ornament styles have with the degree of alpha or omega that they can wear. Alpha on top, omega on the bottom, that's her most natural and easiest to do, but it's not omega on top, it's alpha on top, omega on the bottom. And lastly, we have Jordan. And here you see the greatest amount of omega skirt. Looks fantastic on her. And she is the most alpha of the styles. So a big range for all ornament styles in the degree of alpha and omega. And just to summarize this group of styles, first they split their silhouette, as you see here, alpha on top, omega on the bottom. Second, they can invert that silhouette. And third, they can contradict their silhouette. Okay, now let's go to the other group. It is slightly different. So here we're looking at the soft, which is the two artistries that are soft, which is harmonic and composite. Harmonic and composite do things a little differently than the firm group. To start with, they are omega on top and alpha on the bottom as their most natural silhouette. Omega, alpha. So Chirahu, as you perhaps remember her from the hair videos, so she is the Japanese model. She is not only an amazing model, but her sense of personal style is wonderful. And you can see here, omega on top and alpha on the bottom looks great on her. She is she's the same style as Jordan Dunn. She's just harmonic artistry, so she is elaborate romantic. And now we have Gigi Hadid, who is an omega style, but doing exactly the same thing, omega on top and alpha on the bottom. So this is the most natural splitting of the silhouette for this group, the harmonic and the composite. So what's the second thing they can do? Like the other group, they can also invert the silhouette. So alpha on top, omega on the bottom. And again, I want to stress, the more you are in your style, if you are an ornament style, the more you are in your style, with your fabric weight, with everything that you do, the more successful you can be in your range of shall we say, exploring different silhouettes. And then Gigi can do exactly the same thing, alpha on top now and omega on the bottom. So that is an inversion of her natural omega alpha. And this is regardless of the fact that she is an omega style. It doesn't matter. And you also are seeing again a range of how much alpha and omega works. And then the last thing I want to show you is that this group do not contradict their style like the other group did. Contradict their silhouette, I should say. Instead, they fulfill it. Alpha on top, alpha on the bottom for Shirahu. And similarly for Gigi, she wears omega on top and omega on the bottom. Now you might ask me, are they able to contradict their silhouette instead of fulfill it, as you see here? No, it doesn't really work. It doesn't work anywhere near as well. And likewise the other group, they cannot fulfill their silhouette really successfully. It's not anywhere near as good, but they can contradict it. So those are the different things that the ornament styles can do. In the first place, they split their silhouette. And one group does it one way and the other group does it the opposite. And then the second thing they can do is they can wear each other's silhouettes. They can invert it. And the third thing they can do is they can fulfill a single silhouette, but only one. So that is the ornament styles and how they work with space above and below, and also the special thing they can do, which is not conform to the normal rules of silhouette. So thank you so much for sharing this with me today. I look forward to the next one, and the next one we're going to do is going to look at one of the great mysteries of garments, which is prints. So interesting. And thank you again for coming, and thank you for subscribing, and please take care.